So we'll start the session.
Okay. Audit.
I think we
We completed until risk audit, procurement audit, quality audit, risk audit.
governance domain.
Hmm. Completed. Recent are completed, sir. PMS.
These are completed, right?
Yes, completed. Until audit we have completed.
Risk audit.
Yeah. Risk audit completed.
Okay, this is the next slide.
Yeah. Quality audit also completed.
Okay, so risk
Procurement
audit,
audit, quality audit, risk audit.
completed, right?
Yes, completed, sir.
So now today we will talk about knowledge management tools and techniques. Tools and
Yeah,
techniques
I
in
think
terms
key
of
management.
hmm?
Key management.
What do you mean by key management?
Okay. Oh no, nothing, sir. In the notes, I have written key management last line. That's it. Yeah, fine, sir.
No, we were here. I know this one.
Yeah,
We
from here
finished.
only.
Yes, we finished this one risk audit,
Yeah.
and now today we'll be discussing key management, knowledge management tools and techniques.
Knowledge management. Okay.
So this viewer, what is actually the chapter was related to deliverables, delivery
Yes.
coordination, initiate. Okay, fine. Governance performance domain. So in governance performance domain, we are discussing knowledge management tools and techniques.
Yeah.
So networking, communities of practice, document management, discussion forums. These are all the examples of knowledge management tools and techniques. Knowledge sharing events, workshops. You have different technical workshops in your projects as well. Interactive training. There is some training sessions as well, and after action review. So we'll go one by one. Networking is by informal and online forum and on online forums to start knowledge sharing conversations, like different groups you are joining, like WhatsApp groups or maybe online forums or on online websites. And communication of practice, like special interest groups you are joining. And
Okay.
like in document management system, there is SharePoint. Some companies are using SharePoint as a knowledge management tools and technique. uh, Discussion forum, like in internal focus groups. Knowledge sharing events like seminars, conferences. You are attending seminars and conferences, workshops, like problem solving sessions, learning reviews and lesson learned. And interactive reaction, like between learner to learner interaction. And after action review is like informal discussions post project to document lesson learned, what went well and what not went well. It means that it is actually a lesson learned in after action review. So these are all, and examples of knowledge management tools and techniques. So procurement documentation. So how to document the procurement part of the project, like document used to sign, execute, and close agreements. So actually, procurement is to those documents which are needed to be signed and to be executed and to be closed. The agreements are being closed. So
Okay.
including supporting records like scope of work, SOW, payment information, contractor performance info, plan, drawings, correspondence, and other procurement records. So these are the supporting documents which are required for the procurement of, like a contract. For contract you need BOQ, drawings, correspondences, plans, whatever is signed. So all these documents are signed and stamped from both the parties. Like scope of work is also, part of the procurement. Procurement management plan, a component of the program, project management, describing how the team will acquire goods and services from outside the organization. It means a procurement management plan will tell us how any organization, any company will, they will acquire or they will receive the services from outside the organization, not within the organization, right? Like, you have different pre-qualifications. You submit pre-qualifications to your consultant and client as a contractor.
Fantas, yeah,
Then
clients. Mm.
yeah, then you have to, if it is approved, then you proceed with another process of finalizing the signing the contract or finalizing the LPOs with them, right? So this is how
Yes, yes.
you subcontract your work. So this is all part of
Mm.
procurement documentation, where you are requiring the services or you are requiring the goods, the materials from outside the organization. Document analysis, review existing information. So how we analyze the existing information, like by agreement and expectations between
Mm.
parties in a project. So their document are being
Okay.
reviewed. So their existing information is being reviewed again. Business plans, like goals, strategies, and steps to achieve business success, is called business plans. So this also, business plans is also being reviewed as a document. Current flow
Mm.
process, like how tasks and activities are currently performed within a system. So usually we see how the flow chart is and how the processes work. So we have different flow charts
Okay.
where we see where these documents are there and where to review and how to review it and how it flows. In issue log, we track the problems. In issue log, we usually track the problems and their status of how, when it will be resolved, and what is the mitigation in the issue log. How to mitigate this issue is also part of the issue log. And use cases, how user interact with a system to achieve specific goals. So these cases are like, we it is being developed, to interact within a system, how to achieve that particular goals. So that those cases help us to interact with each other in a system. Policies and procedures provide rules and step-by-step actions for consistent operations. So there's those policies and procedures are standard practices or standard policies, where all of the employee or all of the member of the team are should comply to those policies and standards and procedures. Plan and assumption, set exemption for expectation for project direction based on known or estimated conditions. So we make some assumptions. Let's say, for example, in some projects, our scope of work is not properly defined, right? We don't have clear
Yes.
IFC drawings. So
Mm.
what the planner will do, what the planning engineer will do, he will make some assumptions in the program for some specific areas,
Mm.
and he will
Mm.
clearly
Mm.
mention in the work breakdown structure that area unknown, right? He will make assumptions. So those
Yes.
assumptions are
Yeah.
also part of those plans.
Mm.
And in
Mm.
regulatory documents, include official document needed to meet laws, rules, or standards. So those are, the
Mm.
standard documents, where one is oblique for the
Regulations.
labor law, or for the different
Mm.
regulations, the NOC procedures, the stakeholder procedures. You know what is required by a stakeholder, different entities are there. So these are regulatory documents. So this is all
Okay.
part of the document analysis or reviewing existing information.
Okay.
Here,
Yes.
administrative closure process. So this is actually how we administratively close the process. We have validation and acceptance. Then, if the contract is validated and accepted, then we have financial reconciliation. Okay, we again
Mm.
negotiate for the finance, right? Then knowledge capture is
Yeah.
there. Then resource is being released, and then communication is being closed. So this is how the
Mm.
administrator closure process is. Like how we close any
Okay.
particular deal with the subcontractor or supplier, right? We first accept the
Mm.
validation of that contract. Then we
Yeah.
discuss about, we
Mm.
finalize the financial thing, we reconcile, we negotiate. Then we capture the
Yeah.
knowledge, and then the resource is being released. Either it is labor resource, or either it is material, or either any subcontract work.
Mm.
And then the
Mm.
communication is being closed. So this is how the
Close.
administrative closure process is.
Yeah.
Reserve analysis. So two type of reserves can be added to the project: schedule,
Mm.
contingency reserves, and management reserves to the project schedule. So those reserve analysis, how we can incorporate these two reserve analysis, how we can add these two reserves into the project schedule, I mean the time frame. There is contingency reserves and management reserves. So contingency reserves is what is actually a contingency reserves? Those contingency reserves are allocated for the identified risk remaining after plan risk response, known and unknown, which are included in the project schedule baseline. It is percentage of estimated or fixed number. So it means in contingency reserves we have identified risk. Okay, remaining after plan risk response. It means if we have a plan risk, the remaining one which we cannot, we cannot, which we don't know. I mean, it is known, but it is also unknown to us. We kept it as a contingency reserves in our baseline program, right?
Yes.
And in management reserves are additional funds and time cover unforeseen risks that could impact the project ability to meet schedule. Unknown and unknowns and are not part of the schedule. So management reserves are additional funds, they kept it. So these are actually unknown and unknown that we don't know, right? Especially for
Yes.
risks such as force majeure, a risk for some emergency, if there is some emergency or HSC related risk is there in the project, or maybe global impact. So these reserves are being kept as a management reserves. This is called unknown and unknown.
Okay.
But the management reserve, but the contingency reserves is known and unknown. We know the plan risk, okay, but we know something. But as part of those knowns, we are missing with some information. We lack with some information. So this type of reserve is called contingency reserve. Contingency reserve could be zero, and management reserves could not be zero, right? So it
Yes.
means in a schedule we can add more time, right? We can add more time. We can add more time. So, or maybe in a cost we can add some more cost. So that will be account to us as a zero. But in management reserves, it could not be zero because we are adding additional funds. In contingency reserves, we
Okay.
are adding schedule. We are adding more time.
Mm.
Okay, of the
Okay.
percentage of the estimated of the estimated schedule. Now, agile release planning.
Agility and
So in agile release planning, so now we are talking about agile. So in agile release planning, there is number of iterations and sprints in the release.
mm.
Like it is high level timeline accuracy, often 3 to 6 months based on product roadmap and product vision. So if we have a product which we are going to launch within 6 months, so there will be multiple iterations and sprints in the release. Okay. And there will be also a
Okay.
phase review in between them. So it is a high level timeline summary. So this is if I'm giving 6 months, so it is a high level timeline summary for us. But again, it should be delivered. The product map roadmap should be within 3 to 6
Mm.
months. So in uh, in agile we are using roadmap instead of baseline, right? In a project where which is plan driven, we use baseline programs, we use baseline wording. But in agile we are using roadmap, right? Product vision, we are using the word product vision or product roadmap. So it
Mm.
also enables product owners team to decide scope, timeline, and release product considering business goals, dependencies, impediments, and resource availability.
Mm.
So actually in agile, the team members or the owners, they decide, by considering
Mm.
these, like, business goals, dependencies, impediments, and resource availability. So actually it is value creates an easier to understand schedule by showing what features will be available at each iteration end. So as a value in agile, we should easily understand that what is the
Mm.
value that has to be delivered at the end of each iteration or maybe each
Mm.
sprint. Okay,
Okay.
team may use story points instead of hours, relative effort, complexity versus precise time. So maybe they can use Instead of hours, they can use story points. The team can use story points instead of hours in order to get more value in the project. Steps for developing a schedule. So how we actually develop the schedule? First, we need to, as a planning engineer or as a scheduler, we need to define the activities. Okay, we should identify
Okay.
all tasks required to complete the project. So we should identify each and every task that is part of our project. Then determine sequence. Then we have to know that activity A should be linked to activity B as a finish to start or start to start or finish to finish, right? So the dependencies
Yeah.
should be identified, right? So we again,
Mm-hmm.
after defining the activities, we should define the relationship between one and each other activity. So they all these activities will be linked with each
Mm,
other, either with finish to start, start to
mm,
start, or finish to finish, with some lags, with
mm,
with positive lag or with negative lag. So this is how the sequence is being established. Then estimate effort and duration.
mm.
So calculate the time and resources needed for each task. So after we determine the sequence, then we will start with our estimation for the duration, right? How much duration should be for the excavation? How much duration should be for the formation works? How
Mm,
much duration should be for the subgrade works? For sub base works. So
mm.
this is how the duration is being calculated from the productivity, right? So productivity is equal to quantity divided by duration. So if we take the duration the other side, so duration is equal to
Yes, correct.
quantity divided by productivity, right?
Mm.
If we know the quantity of work
Yeah.
and if we divide it by productivity, we can get the duration, right?
Mm,
So this is how we estimate
yes.
the duration. Then
Mm,
adjust, review, and modify the schedule based on constraint and feedback. So then we can adjust and modify the schedule if we have some feedback, if we have some constraints and have some feedback from the client, then we can adjust our schedule. So this is how we develop the schedule, and these are the steps, right?
okay. Mm, yes.
So there is again in productivity calculation we have resources. We need to assign the resources, manpower
Mm,
resources, equipment resources. Then we need to
mm,
add some KPIs also as part of our
mm,
calculation. Then we need to put some formulas where we can get the progress values. Okay, and for cost we need to do
okay.
the cost loading as per the BOQ. So this is how we develop the schedule.
Okay.
Again, activity definition. Activity, it means how we identify the activity. We identify the activity based on what? If we have BOQ, if we have contract documents,
Mm,
then easily we
mm,
can get an experienced planning engineer can easily get the activities from those
mm.
BOQs and from the IFC drawings, right? So he should define
Yes,
the
correct.
activities. He will collect all the activities. Then he will
Mm,
determine the sequence. He should know what is the sequence. What should come after excavation. What should come after subgrade. What should come after the curbstone
mm,
installation, right? So he should
yes.
know what should come after each of any particular activity, and he should also
Mm,
define the lags and leads.
mm,
Okay,
okay.
lag, if the lag is positive, it will be called lead, right?
Oh,
So if we have 2 as a lag, it means we are dragging the activity
mm,
for 2 days. Activity A is
mm,
being done for 2 days, it will drag the
mm,
activity B for 2 days. So if we add negative lag
mm,
like -2, so it means it
mm,
will, this -2, like activity A will start
mm,
after the activity B because we have a negative lag of -2. This
mm.
is how the scheduling is being done. And dependency
Okay.
types, like we have different hard logic, soft logic, external dependencies, and internal dependencies. In hard logic, what is the difference between hard logic and soft logic? Hard logic means required by law, contract, or nature of the work. Common in physical and technical work. Example: foundation first, then
Mm,
structure, build prototype before testing. So these are all examples of
mm,
mandatory dependencies like the hard logic,
Mhm.
and we required by law, where we require those dependencies by law
Mm.
or by nature of work. And then in discriminatory dependencies are soft and preferred logic. So we can also call soft logic, chosen by preference, best practice, or project approach. Not required. Some tasks could run in parallel. Example: finish plumbing before electrical to reduce risk. So PM note
Mm.
document them and review before fast tracking. So in
Mm.
soft logic, it is like it is chosen by preference. We choose by preference, and best practice and on project should also be there. And those are not required for those tasks which runs in parallel. External dependencies are relationship between project work and non-project activities outside the team's control.
The team's control.
Example testing depend on hardware delivery from a vendor, and
Mm.
construction preparation depends on government approach and hearings. Right?
Yeah.
And internal dependencies
Question.
relation between activities within the project team contract.
For the team control.
An example: you cannot test a machine until the test assembles it. So this is
Mm.
called internal dependencies. So can you tell me the difference between these four? Just tell me in your
Yeah.
own words.
Okay. Okay. So, the mandatory dependency, hard logic and soft logic first. Okay. The hard logic means, it will be a no, it will be normal kind of structure. Uh, it is uh, common in the step by step construction.
Okay.
Uh, then and the soft logic means it's kind of option. It's like if you want, we have to add like that,
Yes.
right? If we want, we can add it. Then external dependency means uh, it depends on it depends on something we are received from someone. It's depend on the outside members like government or other suppliers or other team. Then
Okay.
internal dependencies means it's depending inside the team. The people who are working here, who are involving in the project.
Yes. Dependencies types. So here is match each scenario on the left with the correct dependency type on the right. Can you match these dependencies? These are the scenarios
Mm,
and these are the dependency types.
okay. The concrete foundation. Foundation is mandatory. Then the team decides to finish plumbing before electrical work to reduce coordination risk. That is the second one, low logic, discretionary. Then
Now
hardware
what about
delivery from the
okay?
vendor.
What about number
Ah,
one?
yeah. Number one is mandatory. Yeah. The concrete foundation must be completed before the building structure can start. Mandatory. One. Then
Okay.
the team decides to finish plumbing before electrical work to reduce coordination risk. It's a low logic, discretionary. Then hardware delivery from a vendor is delayed, so systems testing cannot start. External. This is external. Then the team cannot test a machine until its internal assembly is finished. That is internal dependency. The direct definition only, the first four. Then a government permit must be approved before preparation can hide. That is also external government. Then the project team chooses to review the prototype before presenting it to stakeholders, although both could run in parallel. So the project team chooses a review the prototype before presenting it to stakeholders, although both could run in parallel. Uh, this will be, I think, external.
Mm-hmm.
The down is the answer.
Why are you looking at answer?
Sorry.
No, you should not look at answer.
Because okay, sorry. Because there the project team involved, no, so maybe I thought it's internal. Then coming to the G, a contract requires an inspection before handover. The contract, it's a mandatory. Two activities are linked, both are controlled by the same internal project team. It's a internal. Only if I got the doubt, it will be low logic,
Okay,
discretionary. Mm.
fine. So number H is for four. Like activities
Mm.
are controlled inside the
By the
project team.
project team.
Two
Yes, yes.
activities are linked because both are controllable by the same internal process project team.
Mm. So, yeah, sir, but F also, it's a project team, right? Then why it comes under discretionary? Maybe, uh,
Okay. Now steps for delivering a schedule.
okay.
You have some question?
Yes,
Which question?
actually, for the uh, F also the project team decision, right? The project team, it's kind of a project team controlling, right? Then why it's coming to discretionary number two? Not
Discretion
why
chosen by
not
best
four?
practice or preference. So
Ah, uh,
the project team choose to review the prototype before presenting it to the stakeholder, although both could run in parallel, right? So this
yeah,
is
it's
by
kind
best
of
practice
it's a
or
practice. Yes,
preference.
practice.
Preference is there in
Mm.
discretionary.
Ah, okay,
And in number one,
got
required
it.
by law, contract, or nature of work, mandatory. That
Mm.
is A. The concrete foundation must be completed before building the structure before building a
Yeah,
structure.
A and also G, the contract records inspection.
Yeah, but this is inspection. This is not something. Okay, this is also mandatory. You can say.
Yeah, a contract records. There is a contract, no, that's why.
Yeah, yeah. That's the main thing.
Ah,
Internal activities are controlled inside the project team. So this is number four
project teams. Mm.
because two activities are linked between both are linked because both are controlled by the same internal project team. So this is internal,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Estimate step three,
Mm.
steps for developing a schedule, like estimate effort and duration.
Mm.
Estimating determine time plus resources needed to complete project work, like qualitative and quantitative. So qualitative based
Okay.
on understanding the behavior, condition, and perceptions. Quantitative numerical estimates of effort, duration, or cost. So in qualitative, you can see in qualitative, you should know the understand the behavior and the condition and the perceptions. But in the quantitative, there is numbers, there is calculations, right?
Okay. Yes.
So like bottom up estimation, analogous estimation, expert judgments. If we see these estimations, these three estimations, multi-point estimation, these are part of the quantitative analysis or
Okay.
parametric estimation. These are part of quantitative estimation. But expert
Mm.
judgment is part of the qualitative analysis, right?
Yes.
Relative size estimation is also part of the quantitative
Mm.
analysis. Okay, so these are the estimation techniques. Some of them, these are four are from these estimations are for the quantitative
Mm.
analysis, and the expert judgment is because of the is of the qualitative.
Mm.
We understand the behavior, condition, and perceptions from the expert guy. Okay,
Okay.
expert judgment estimate based on specialized expertise, industry leaders, industry experts, disciplines, and domains. Expert may be individuals with education, knowledge, skills, experience, or training. So, like the QS quantity surveyor or the planning engineer, these are or the material engineer, the QA/QC engineer. So these are the expert people. Okay,
Okay.
they have those required qualifications, they have those required experience, where
Mm.
they can give us an expert judgment. So used to improve estimate quality when data is limited. So that expert judgment is when we have limited data, we can get the advice from the experts. Okay. So this will enhance our quality,
Mm.
Analogous estimation. So what is analogous estimation? Analogous estimation is estimating duration, cost, resources using historical data from similar previous projects or activities. So if we have previous project
Okay.
here, you can see here we have previous project 3 months and $30,000. So if we have new project and the complexity is 2 times, so we can estimate that it is for 6 months
Mm.
and the cost will be 60,000. Okay. So this is
Okay.
called analogous estimation. If we have a
Mm.
previous
Mm.
data, we can easily estimate.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
We can make easily
Okay.
estimation for the new project.
Mm.
Especially useful when limited detailed information is available. So if we have limited information, we can use the
Mm.
analogous estimation. And it is
Okay.
faster and generally less costly than detailed estimation. So it means it is less timing consuming and less costly as compared to the detailed estimation. Limits can
Mm.
be less accurate, depend on similarity and data quality. Again, so it is depends on the data quality as well. Second one is bottom up estimation. Bottom up estimation means if we have activities, we did the calculation based on the activities and activities. Then we sum up the activities into work package, right? Then those work package
Mm.
are added up to the deliverables. Then deliverables are added up to the project. So this is bottom up estimation. We estimate from the bottom, from the activities level to
Mm.
work package to phases or deliverables, and then to the project.
Okay.
So when it is useful, when activity duration cannot be estimated confidently
Mm.
at a high level. So we decompose into more detail, right? And the
Yeah.
key points in detail estimate or bottom up estimate is detailed duration are estimated, then roll up to total activity duration, and consider pattern of resource usage and impact from dependencies. So this is how we aggregate from the very small activities. We work on very small activities to estimate, and then we sum up to the
Mm.
work packages and deliverables, and then the project. So we estimate from the bottom. Then there is multi-point estimation, which is called PERT style or 3 point. So we have different formulas like in PERT estimation, 3 point estimation. We have optimistic. We use it triangular distribution, optimistic plus most likely plus pessimistic divided by 3. This is the formula. What is the
Mm.
formula? TO. Like if you are calculating
TO.
time, duration, time or duration, we
Mm.
say optimistic. O is for optimistic plus
Mm.
optimistic plus
Most likely.
most likely plus pessimistic divided by 3. So this
Mm.
is
Okay.
called expected duration, and this is triangular distribution. The second one
Mm.
is the beta distribution. Beta distribution is optimistic plus 4 most likely plus
Mm.
pessimistic divided by 6. This is called beta distribution. Okay.
Mm.
The third one is the standard deviation, which is pessimistic minus optimistic divided by 6. So this is standard deviation, SD. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So here TO is for optimistic, TM is for most likely, and TP is for pessimistic. So it improves accuracy when there is uncertainty risk versus single point estimation. So this is how we have three type of PERD formulas: triangular distribution, then we have beta distribution, then we have standard deviation.
Standard deviation activity.
Yeah, useful when historical data is limited. Okay,
Mm.
and you rely
Mm.
on judgment. So provide an expected value plus uncertainty range. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm.
usually this comes in exam. They will ask
Mm.
you questions to calculate triangular distribution or expected duration or beta distribution or standard deviation.
Mm.
These questions usually come, as the standard deviation. So you should know the formula. If they give you
Okay.
the optimistic value or in pessimistic value, you can easily calculate the standard deviation value.
Mm. Okay, sir.
So here in the PERT, or we can say the 3 point estimation
mm, mm,
PERT formula, this is the probability versus
mm,
occurrence. This is possible durations. So we see here, optimistic to pessimistic as a possible duration. So we are way more optimistic that this task will finish in less time, but we are pessimistic that this task will take longer time, right? So
yes.
if we draw this possible duration, and this is the most
Mm,
likely, and this is the expected. So
mm,
if we see the relative probability occurrence, so if
mm,
we put the formula optimistic plus 4 most likely plus pessimistic divided by 6, so we can reach to some point that the duration will be like around maybe somewhere here, not
mm,
most likely but somewhere here, right?
yes. Yeah.
So this is how the relative probability occurrence as compared to possible durations. So this is the
Mm,
occurrence value, okay,
mm,
and this is the
okay.
durations value. So we reach somewhere here,
Mm,
okay.
okay, sir.
So this is how this distribution is. Again, here we will close here for today.
Okay.
Not go further because
Mm,
we have less time, and I want you to
mm,
go
mm.
through these formulas, okay,
Okay, sure, sure,
especially
sir.
these three
Uh,
formulas.
yeah, yeah, okay. Sir, this month, 19th, I am planning to go for the vacation for 2 weeks.
Before 19, we will finish.
Okay, sir. Because if I'm going for the vacation means definitely I will get some free time there. 1 week at least. I will get a free time for the preparing.
Yes.
No need
So
to work from
now
that, no?
this week
Yeah.
we will continue for two another days like
Mm.
Tuesday, Wednesday again. Okay.
Yeah.
Next week again
If you
Sunday,
want, we
Tuesday,
can
Wednesday.
add more classes also.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, like that also we can finish.
Yeah,
Because
but I think
19th night I
we are
have a
now
flight.
we are now in 86 slide. Okay. So
Yeah.
how much we are balanced now? Let us see. 163 minus 86. So we have 77 slides. I think we can finish it.
Yeah, because during vacation time I can study at 1 week I will get for a whole one
No, no,
week I will get the
for
time.
sure. I will try my
So
best to
I
finish.
can finish it.
We
Yeah,
have
sure,
19,
sir.
like we
Uh,
have 2 days here and then 3 days, five, and
yeah,
then we have like okay. I will try my best to complete it. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.